On June 27th, several dozen Tri-Cities residents braved the inclement weather conditions to attend the groundbreaking ceremony that was held for the upcoming Springs development in Port Moody. At the event, provincial and municipal leaders, as well as the Springs partners, spoke about the development that will include a new church, 55 affordable rental housing units, 4 fully accessible units, and the Tri-Cities Children's Center. The Springs partners include St. Andrew's Ioko United Church, Catalyst Community Development Society, Kinsight, and Share Family and Community Services. The Springs, located on St. John Street, is slated to open in 2021.
The people of St. Andrew's Ioko United Church blanket our sister Charlene Alec from the Tsleil-Waututh Nation. What we're doing is recognizing that in the work that Charlene is doing for us today, she's holding the good intentions of our work in her heart and representing us, and we hold her in community as she does this.
Heitzetbawe, Siamen Siaya, Tsimtalat Quanath Squi Talitsin At Slewat Osh, E Stalo Haha Tameth, Siamalaloch Tamen, Tiaptana Taten, Wananawai Tanashqualoan, Tini Te Ta, your project here that combines so many hearts and minds. In my language, I introduced myself of who I am, where I come from, and my parents' names that binds me to this territory. I'm so humbled and honored to see a work like this go on here in Port Moody, which was an old village site of Tsleil-Waututh hundreds of years ago. It combines the whole medicine wheel of emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual work that you can do amongst human beings. And you are providing a space for that work. With me, I brought some medicine. It is from the earth, and we use it in ceremonies much like this to convey our intentions and convey that sacred work that we intend to do on this property. And just hearing some of the stories of how many years it took to get to this day, and how much work and how much people and how much prayers it took for you to get to this day. And I'm just overwhelmed by that force of energy and that sacredness of what you're willing and what you've put yourself up to do to help other humans. It's uplifting, and it's a great piece of, it's like a benchmark for humans. Port Moody can be a role model in that sense in this project, and I'm just so happy and honored to be a part of it. And I just want to as well pray for your project, for the success of it, and for the brilliance of it, that it may seep down into the hearts of others that come here to seek that, as well as acknowledging all of our ancestors that has brought us to this day, to this moment, to this place, right here, right now. Heitzetbawe. Oh, hilo, hilo, oh, hilo, hilo, he la he. Oh, he lo, oh, he lo, ah, he la, ah, ha, he la, hey. Heights Up Hour, thank you so much for this opportunity to share.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene. You're setting us on the right foot today. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'd like to invite Rick Blumack to speak, MLA for Port Moody, Coquitlam.
Thank you, and hello, everyone. I'm honored to be here today, and I'd like to acknowledge that we're gathered today on the traditional lands of the Coast Salish people. And I want to thank Elder Charlene Alec of the Tsleil-Waututh for opening this celebration with a blessing. Thank you. You know, it started as an idea, and it became a dream, but the dream only became reality because of all the amazing hard work for all the community partners, and many of whom are here today witnessing the groundbreaking of this dream that's become a reality. This project in the building will offer welcome relief for families in the Tri-Cities, especially families caring for children with disabilities, while maintaining the community space and services provided through the United Church. It's important that people have the resources and opportunities to grow their families without having to constantly look for a new place to rent or live with evictions looming. The 55 new homes that are included in this affordable housing portion of this project will range from studios to 3-bedroom units, including 5 accessible homes. And the rents are as low as $375 for a studio and $750 for a 2-bedroom. In other words, these new homes will support a range of families and people with accessibility needs in search of affordable housing in the Tri-Cities. Our government is committed to putting families and people first, and this commitment is backed by the largest investment in affordable housing in BC's history, more than $7 billion. That will result in tens of thousands of new homes built in the next 10 years. And already in less than 2 years, more than 20,000 homes are either completed or underway in communities throughout BC, including 450 here in the Tri-Cities. And partnerships are the key to these investments in people. And I'm thankful for the people involved with community organizations in Port Moody who really stepped up to work with us on this project. In fact, I've had many conversations with Minister Robinson about this project in particular. And she's told me about how this project was an inspiration and a catalyst for the housing hub that started last year. It was created to increase the supply of affordable housing through innovative partnerships just like the ones that are here. It's really a shining example, and when you think about this idea that it was just an idea and a dream, and it's inspired so many other dreams across this province with the creation of the housing hub. The housing crisis facing people in BC didn't appear overnight. It's something that happened over many years, and it won't be fixed overnight. But we're going to be working hard to make housing affordable for people throughout British Columbia. One of the ways we're doing this in our 2018 budget, we committed funding to increasing affordability for 4,900 homes that were already in development before we became government. That includes this development, which required an extra $4.4 million from the province to ensure affordability. So under the leadership of Minister Selena Robinson, our government is working hard every day to make housing more affordable for people in the Tri-Cities and across this province. Thank you for all the work you've done. And I'd like to now invite up Councillor Hunter Madsen to speak on behalf of the City of Port Moody. Thank you.
Thank you, MLA Glumac and my friend Rick. Thank you also to Catalyst Community Development Society for organizing today's groundbreaking for a very special, wonderful undertaking that we're all engaged on here. I feel honored to join you today on behalf of Port Moody City Council. You know, everyone in life, regardless of means or circumstance, deserves a warm, safe, comfortable place to call home. In Port Moody, as elsewhere, of course, finding affordable housing has become a huge challenge for far too many. And certainly here, creating more affordable housing has become a central goal for, I feel the same way, for our city council, and all the frustration too, in the development of new residents. Yeah, I know that pulling together the many necessary elements needed to create affordable housing is a very difficult enterprise. In the fall of 2017, after Robert Brown had made a presentation, I guess with Julie, to the council about the idea for this project, I actually tracked him down and asked if he wouldn't mind just taking a time out at his office to give me a walkthrough, sort of a basics on what goes into putting together a tutorial on these not-for-profit building partnerships. And it was quite an eye-opener. Right? There's so many moving parts to make these things work. Lots of individuals and groups putting their generous efforts together to help create new homes for persons in need. Yes, immediately, benefiting individuals immediately, but really sort of the benefit of that kind of flowing out for the entire community for generations to come, and that's what's going on here. The sense of commitment at this gathering is palpable. You could all be doing something else this morning besides hovering in the rain. But the fact is you're here. And our city and our council are here with you too. By the way, I have to give you a special message. I'm supposed to be Amy Lubick today, Councilor Lubick. But she got caught at work. She said her regrets, and I said, "Yippee! I get to fill in," because I've been such a big fan of the project for a while. So in 2018, when council made the decision to support this project, it was really clear to all of us what an opportunity this would be for this city. As Rick Glumac said, providing 55 families or individuals with low or moderate incomes in a wonderful new place to call home. And 4 units for people with developmental disabilities who get a remarkable new place of caring for them. All of this plus a re-envisioned place of worship for the Loving Fellowship of St. Andrew's United Church, whose land donation and passion for helping others has really been the bedrock of this unfolding blessing for our community, and which will continue to provide valued amenities and programs for the community, as well as, of course, office space for 2 other critical players for our extended family here, Kinsight and Share. The city is giving, they typed out my speech for me, this exact number, $527,796 that the city is contributing as a grant out of the Affordable House Reserve Fund. And it's really a well-deserved contribution. It's most of what we had at the time, in fact, in the fund. A well-deserved contribution for these, to help provide these housing units. That this development is part of the city's affordable housing strategy, and the city looks forward to continuing to reaching its goals within that strategy. So I can hardly wait to see this development completed, and I'm very excited that we get to break ground today. Just to finish off, like Rick, I want to thank everybody who's been involved with helping to make the project happen. The developers, Catalyst Community Development Society, St. Andrews, Port Moody Housing Society, Kinsight, Share Family and Community Services. And I guess I have to mention that even though it dwarfs the little contribution our city is able to make, I'm so appreciative that BC Housing is here and has contributed $5 million to make this thing happen. So everybody is working together. So again, on behalf of the city of Port Moody, we're very excited to see the ground break. Congratulations to everyone. Onward. Thanks.
St. Andrews United Church has a long history of serving this area. The church was established in Port Moody, in this area, before Port Moody was incorporated and became a United Church in 1925. We very recently amalgamated with Ioko United Church just across the inlet to become St. Andrews Ioko United Church for now, till we change our name to something else. But that's who we are. Our congregation hosted the Cold Wet Weather MAT program for 8 years, from 2008 to 2015. In 2015, as many of you know, the permanent shelter at 3030 Gordon Avenue was opened. At that time, we were no longer needed to host the MAT program, and we were delighted to see this proper facility for our neighbors without homes. This caused us to look at our vision and to ask, what is our next mission? What are we called to do now? And we looked at the needs of the community and asked, how can we help? Of course, affordable housing was at the top of the list in 2015, as it is now. As a church, we had land and a vision to create housing. But we realized we could not accomplish this alone. So we cast the net wide, looking for community partners to share our vision. We met Catalyst Community Development Society, thankfully. After meeting with several others, thankfully we met Catalyst. They introduced us to Kinsight and Share as possible partners. With lots of vision, conversations, faith, and hard work, our church has been working at this project for 5 years. And I want to take just a minute to acknowledge that it started with people caring about the community, volunteering their time to help this project come to be. And I want to acknowledge 4 people of our congregation that have worked extremely hard on this and continue to do so with volunteering their time. Jan Morrissey, she's not here today. Brian Esselstein, Brian is here. Whoops, Brian. Charlie Young, I don't know if Charlie's here. And Sue McIntyre. That's the group that's been shepherding this project and shepherding the reaching out. And then we started to work hard with our partners, Kinsight and Share. With the help of Van City, the BC Conference of the United Church, the Tri-Cities Homelessness and Housing Task Group, the City of Port Moody, and BC Housing, our vision is becoming a reality. The Springs is being built. None of us could have done this alone. The strength of this project is in the diversity of what the Springs will offer to the Port Moody area. As Rick said, or as Hunter said, a renewed space of worship and spiritual nurture that will continue seeking justice in our neighborhood. A children's center, which we'll hear more about, and 55 units of low and moderate income housing. Today, this morning, we celebrate the groundbreaking. We will officially break ground, but we'll also bless it and share it. To break ground, to put shovels and cranes into the earth is very easy to see, and we're going to do that today. But we also bless this ground and give thanks. We acknowledge this ground. This land we stand on is a blessing. Along with those who have gone before us, we are stewards of this land, of this ground. We are using this land not for profit, only for the service of people. The land will remain under the care of the church and the nonprofit societies, our partners, and its purpose will be to serve the Port Moody area. Finally, we share this ground for its new purpose to serve Port Moody in a new way with new life. Break, bless, and share. This is a common practice in our faith tradition. Regularly, we break bread, gluten-free bread. We bless it and we share it. Broken, blessed, and shared bread. We call this in the United Church communion. And everyone seeking peace is welcome. Typically, it's on a Sunday morning. It is a symbol of abundance for all people. A symbol we are called to live into and to help create. Creating housing is part of this abundance. Likewise, in our own lives, we are broken, blessed, and shared. We are broken. We're not perfect. It's called being human. We try our best. But we're also blessed by Spirit, by grace, and love beyond ourselves, however you describe that. We are made whole. We don't have to work for it. It just is, that grace. Lastly, we are shared. We share ourselves. We share our lives in our relationships with family, friends, and neighbors, in our work, our vocation, whether that's paid or volunteer, whatever we give. Maybe it's as a parent. We share our lives in the joy of living. Broken, blessed, and shared. That is what this groundbreaking today really means. Broken, blessed, and shared. That is the gift of each of us, each in our own way, not alone, but together. May it be so. May it be so. Does anybody know what that means? Amen. Can I get an amen? Amen. Right. Okay, now I'm going to introduce Helen Loy. Helen. Helen is the development manager of Catalyst Community Development Society. Our guide. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I'm really excited to be here on behalf of Catalyst, as this is a really important and wonderful milestone. With these 55 homes, we'll be delivering critically needed, below-market rental housing to families and individuals working in the Tri-Cities. The homes in this building will provide affordability to a range of people. A young couple might live in one of the studios who are maybe moving out for the first time. A senior couple might live in the 2-bedroom home, downsizing from a single-family house so that they could stay in the area that they've called home for many, many years. A family might live in one of the 3-bedroom townhomes and be able to afford a separate bedroom for each of their children who had previously been sharing a bedroom. I recall that one of the first meetings that I had for this project was a potluck dinner on March 1st, 2017. I remember Josh and I driving out, and we met in the basement of the church, and we put together a salad for this meeting. This was one of the first times that I had met a variety of people from Kinsight, from Share, and from the St. Andrew's United Church. I had wondered how I'd be able to remember everybody's names and how tricky it must be to navigate the design and coordination for a project with having so many people involved. I think it soon became clear that each person plays a really critical role to this project. I want to commend our partners and also recognize that many of them spend and volunteer their time outside of their roles to contribute towards this important project. And I'm grateful that I'm able to work alongside such a kind and committed group of individuals. Of course, since then, there have been many more partners to this list and more complexity, but it really highlights the combined effort and achievement that has gotten us here today and that the partnerships will continue even beyond the completion of construction. This is a really complex project, but complex is resilient and meaningful to our communities. I want to thank the St. Andrew's Ioko United Church, Kinsight, Share, for this wonderful partnership opportunity. I'd like to thank the City of Port Moody, BC Housing, and Metro Vancouver for their continued support and contributions towards this project. And thank you to the Catalyst board and team, and to our consultants, and to our contractor, Vanmar. Congratulations, everyone. Groundbreaking is a really huge milestone, and it takes a village of amazing people to create such a complex but meaningful project. I'd like to welcome Christine Scott, CEO of Kinsight, to speak.
Good morning, everyone. I am very pleased to be here representing Kinsight as its Chief Executive Officer. As I stand here today with our partners and I look out at all our friends and supporters, I can't help but think that this is a beautiful illustration of what Kinsight has worked toward during its 65-year history in the Tri-Cities. Our name, Kinsight, stands for Family and Community Vision. This work, this development, embodies this. We were founded by families in 1954 who wanted something different for their children and for their community. We've worked every day since to fulfill our mission of ensuring that people have meaningful relationships and fulfilling lives. We do this through services to children and adults with developmental delays and disabilities from birth through to seniors across the community, in families' homes, in preschools and childcare centers, in schools, with youth, and through employment, housing, and supports to access community. I've personally worked with families in this community for 26 years. I've sat cross-legged on families' living room floors with their babies in my lap, helping them to learn more about community resources and supports, who to go to, where to go to, for what. It's been difficult for many of them, already facing great stress as they seek information and support to help their children and themselves. I've worked with an amazing team of people and equally amazing partners. The Tri-Cities has many wonderful service partners. Share has long been a part of our work, and for the last 15 years, we have worked diligently to coordinate services and to develop out the concept of the Tri-Cities Children's Center, a center for families and their children who are at risk for or experiencing a developmental delay or diagnosed disability. Over the course of those years, Kinsight looked at developing properties, including our own properties in the Tri-Cities area. Catalyst assisted us with our review, and we were reintroduced to people from St. Andrew's Ioko United Church. It became immediately clear that the vision of the Children's Center was aligned with the mission of both St. Andrew's Ioko United Church and Catalyst, and that this partnership could create a truly unique and wonderful opportunity for the community. The Tri-Cities Children's Center brings many benefits. It will greatly assist families to access early intervention and family support services and programs. It will allow staff to work collaboratively, enhancing the service experience of families and improving the outcomes for children and youth. And through our partnership with Share, we can also leverage one another's strengths and share resources. And finally, as affordable housing and community is a key service priority of Kinsight, we're thrilled to participate in this aspect of the development. Kinsight has a number of homes throughout the community and real estate development projects in its pipeline. As an equity investor in this project, our original intention was to invest in and own and secure some of the units at the Springs. Secure them so that there would be deeply affordable housing for people with developmental disabilities. Catalyst and the church assured us that their vision included all. And so we are particularly pleased that the housing in the Springs will not only be affordable and accessible, it will also be inclusive. That our vision of a world where everyone's welcome, everyone belongs everywhere, will be realized here. with homes for adults with developmental disabilities alongside their families, alongside their neighbors. That's inclusion and partnership, and it's smart business. It allows us to leverage our equity and invest elsewhere in the community to provide more affordable, inclusive, and accessible housing. And so we are thrilled to be here today to celebrate this milestone that has been years and years in the making, and the promise of a future service delivery model for families that will be greatly enhanced by the committed efforts of many people and organizations coming together. It's now my pleasure and my honor to introduce our Tri-Cities Children's Center service partner, CEO of SHARE, Claire McLean.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Christine, and to all of you for attending today. I know we were a bit remiss in the beginning by not acknowledging also Councillor Steve Kim from City of Coquitlam, so we appreciate him being here as well with us. As Christine mentioned, SHARE Family and Community Services has been a long-standing partner and has a long-standing collaboration with Kinsight, and it's really built around our mutual desire to make sure that we provide the best possible services to children and their families. SHARE began in the Tri-Cities in 1972 when neighbors saw a need in their local community and they came together and started a clothing exchange program. We've grown quite a bit since then. We now serve over 57,000 people each year in this community, and we provide a whole range of services, including mental health supports, substance use and substance use prevention services, legal advocacy, the local food bank, parenting programs, and of course, services for children and youth with special needs. And through all those years and all those changes, SHARE has remained really steadfast in our mission. We are here to serve and support this community. By providing this broad spectrum of services, we really aim to wrap our services around the people of this community during those times of vulnerability and give them the support they need to reach their full potential. And the Tri-Cities Children's Center represents a really significant step towards this goal. Once it's built, the Tri-Cities Children's Center will serve over 2,600 children and youth each year. These are families living in Port Moody, in Port Coquitlam, in Anmore, and Belcarra. These are families whose children may be on the autism spectrum. They may have been born severely premature. They may have medical or biological disorders that affect their development, cerebral palsy or Down syndrome. They may have been exposed to alcohol or drugs in utero. They may be children who are struggling with one particular area of their development. They might be slow to walk or to talk, or they may be children that have profound delays across all their areas of development. They are children whose families are struggling to make ends meet, and they are children whose families are financially stable. They are children whose families are newcomers to this amazing community, and they are families who have lived here for generations. These are children from every cultural, linguistic, ethnic, and religious group that we are lucky to have in this community. Because developmental delays can affect any child. And no matter what the circumstance of any given child or family, the one thing that is universal is that those who love that child want them to have the very best start in life. And that is why SHARE and Kinsight are here, and that is what has brought us together to bring the Tri-Cities Children's Center to this community. The center will have over 13 different professionals who are working together to ensure that services are linked and seamless from a family's perspective. There'll be a single intake number so that families can quickly access the supports that they need without having to tell their story over and over. And the center will be purposely designed so that children and youth who have different mobility or sensory challenges that will be as independent and as successful as possible. As our Tri-Cities community continues to grow and welcome even more young families, we need to make sure that the right supports are there for them. And SHARE and Kinsight are deeply honored to be a part of those supports, and we're incredibly excited that the Tri-Cities Children's Center is coming to this community. Thank you so much.
Thank you everybody for being here today. I hope this project today serves as an inspiration to yourselves and to the groups that you may be affiliated with. I think we can solve many of our challenges in community by working together. None of us can do it alone, but by working together and sharing our own gifts, we can do some big things. So let your dreams be big, cast the net wide, and see what you catch. Peace be with you. Amen.